Good morning, everyone. This is Chris on IMTN Worldwide Radio, and this is Around the ATL. It is Friday, October 11th. Hopefully everybody is doing fine. Wanted to go ahead and get into this, but before I do, make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube page and share it with one other fan of Atlanta sports, whether or not they're in the state of Georgia, they're in the city of Atlanta, or they're in Australia somewhere. Share the show. You can also follow on Facebook or Instagram. You see right there, IMTN Worldwide Radio. You can also follow myself on Twitter, Intellect ATL, and my co-host Jordan Jackson, Jordan23 ATL. Definitely appreciate that. Today's show is brought to you by Southern Classic Transportation. Make sure you hit up Dennis at 404-291-0150. Make sure you let them know that Around the ATL sent you. So if you need transportation to and from somewhere in the city or out of state even, they're great. They'll go to South Carolina for you. They'll go to Athens for you. If you're going to a UGA game, there's a great experience having someone drive you rather than you taking Groom Transportation or Uber, for crying out loud, or Greyhound. Get yourself an actual chauffeur. Is much better experience. Make sure you let them know Around the ATL sent you. And as always, if you know someone who needs photos right now, images, IMTN Worldwide Images is the way to go. Definitely available. They do great work. I guess I could do a quick sneak peek. Let me see if I can find a picture. There you go. If you need a photo like that, hit up IMTN Worldwide Images. Make sure you do that. So I have to give some context this morning before I get started. So in case you've never watched Around the ATL Side Notes, which is the spinoff of Around the ATL, Side Notes is a specific show about a specific topic that's Atlanta sports related. Last few months, I've been doing game reviews of the 2023 season. The reason I'm doing this particular show today, because I wasn't necessarily going to do any preseason shows, but I won't lie, I was kind of goaded into it. So here's how that happened. I actually did a video on Facebook the other day, and it actually had some bad words in it. I had a migraine. I was very upset about some stuff, and I might post it on YouTube. I'm not sure if I will or not. But the premise of the whole thing was, well, let me finish my discussion about the 2023 season. So what I do in these game reviews is I give you shot for shot in the game of how each point was scored by the opposing team. And the reason I started doing that was because there's so much hatred towards Trae Young. People hate him, they hate his family, and they say so online, in person, on video. They hate Trae Young and Trae Young only because they feel he's so bad on defense that he loses all of their games and the Hawks have no chance to win with him. They hate him so much that they say these things, even though they know that's not true. They know it's not true, and they say it anyway. And so it's not a matter of whether or not I feel that Trae Young is the best player in the world and all this kind of stuff. I don't like it when basketball tells you it's not true. You want to know how I know that? Because basketball is 5-on-5, people. Show me film that Trae Young is on the floor by himself playing 1-on-5, 1-on-10, 1-on-13. I'm talking about the bench and the reserves of the other team. When you can show me film of Trae Young playing 1-on-5, now you can blame Trae Young of giving up 131 points against the Chicago Bulls in the play-in game last year. You can blame Trae Young for giving up 142 points against the Denver Nuggets last year. You can blame Trae Young for giving up 157 points in a game against the Indiana Pacers, all by himself. Absolve everybody else on the team. There is no team. It's just Trae Young. When you can show me tape of that, now we can have a discussion. But until then, we can't. Because basketball tells you there's 4 other people on the floor other than Trae Young. And video shows you that it's not Trae Young's fault that the other people can't play defense. All I keep saying is admit that the other people aren't playing defense along with Trae Young, and then I'm not even doing these reviews. But people won't do that. They hate Trae Young so much that they absolve everybody else from doing their jobs. And I've shown you hours of video, game footage, to show you just that. Now, again, people don't have to look at it. They don't have to watch and things of that nature. But you can't ask me to have a discussion when you're not willing to actually look at the actual evidence. Again, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Opinion is not fact. You can't just keep saying stuff and hoping it sticks. That's not how the world works. You might want it to work like that, and maybe it gets you popular. Maybe it gets you all these visuals and hits and things of that nature. I'm not in it for that. Because I do have integrity when it comes to talking about sports. And that's one of the things that, again, when Bob Rathbun is on our show doing interviews and things of that nature, that's one thing he mentions about our show is that we're willing to do the work and put in the time and effort to say, yeah, we might have some home bias, but we still got to show you everything. See, when I did a post about the first half of the preseason game against the Pacers on Tuesday, the game I'm going to talk about this morning, I did a post basically saying, here are all the Atlanta Hawks who gave up points in the first half of that game. And one of the first responses I got was, oh, well, this is just your campaign to say it's all Hunter's fault. It's all about Hunter. And I'm like, well, I'm not really sure how you can say that when I have a whole list of Atlanta Hawks other than just DeAndre Hunter here. Also, there's JJ who actually gave up more points in the first half than any of the other players. But again, just skipped all over that. There's all they saw was Hunter's name on there, and they made that assumption and that deduction. You know how that would have been true? If all the reviews I've done this over the last couple of months, the only player I reviewed was Hunter. But that's not what I've done. Every shot of the opposing team has clips of all the players in it. You see what I'm saying? You see how that works? I'm talking about all the players on the team that played that night, the ones who were on the roster at the time. And I show you what actually happened in the play, in the possession, not what I think happened. I'm showing you what actually happened. Here's who gave up that layup. Here's who didn't rotate. Here's who didn't fight through the screen. Here's who did. Here it is. Now you can choose to close your eyes during the whole discussion, but that ain't my fault. All I'm asking people is stop absolving everybody else because of your hatred of Trae Young. Because if you watch the actual tape, you have to make a different determination on whose fault it is. You got to, just because of the game. I can't change what happens in the game, people. I can't. So when I do these reviews, I want you to keep that in mind for the future because I will be doing these for the new 2024 season. I don't know if I'm going to do any more preseason, but when the regular season starts, when I do those breakdowns, it's on everybody. When I finish the review and at the end of the game, and the end of the review, I break down, here's how many points Clint gave up. Here's how many points Bogey gave up. Here's how many points Hunter gave up. Here's how many points Trae gave up. Here's how many points JJ gave up. Here's how many Bruno gave up. I'm not just listing one player. Because that'd be crazy. Why? Because it's 5-on-5, 10-on-10, 12-on-12. The other team ain't just rolling out Jimmy Butler. It's Jimmy Butler and Hero and Jovic and Bam. Right? Am I wrong? Am I stupid? Am I crazy? Am I high? Am I drunk? The only time you can also say that, if you can find me tape of an NBA player playing 1-on-5, is if you're playing 21. And that was part of my video the other day, well, yesterday. I talked about individualistic sports like, I don't know, chess or fishing, right? Tennis, golf. Now we're talking, because now you can blame one person on how bad they're doing because it's just that person. But once you expand it to a team sport, whether it be football or baseball or soccer or whatever, now there's other people involved in that win or that loss. Swimming, for crying out loud, the swim team, a gymnastics team. Somebody didn't stick their landing, those points differential can mean the difference between silver and gold. It's the team cumulatively, not just one person. That one person can affect it. Like I said, someone can hit a home run, or someone cannot catch a home run, right? Someone didn't lay down the bunt. But what happened all in between there to where that one run meant so much? What happened all between? If Morton gives up 6 runs in a game, how come the Braves offense didn't get 7? Right? Like, team sports is a team sport for a reason. And you've got to keep score, because if there's no score, there's no sport. You just got people running around. So that's the purpose of this show this morning. I just needed to give that kind of context, because again, the hatred for one person, somebody who's trending to be an all-time great already, he's a historical player already after 6 seasons. That's the guy you hate, not the guy averaging 12 points a game, 8 points a game, Speedy Claxton. You don't hate none of those people. You hate the guy who's led the league in assists 2 or 3 years and would have led it another year if he hadn't gotten hurt. You're hating the all-time Hawks leader in assists. You're hating the guy who leads the league in assists per game right now. All players. And 4th all time. All the guys who played in the NBA, Trae Young is 4th in assists per game. He's one of 2 players to lead the league in assists and points. That's the guy you hate. The only other guy besides Dominique who's averaged 26 a game in Hawks history for the playoffs. He's averaging 26 and 9 for the playoffs. You hate that guy? Not the guy averaging 7 points a game. And again, last note, Trae Young was never drafted to be the best defender on the team. Why are we pretending like that's a fact? He's 6'0". He wasn't a defender in college. I know somebody who was a defender in college, won Defensive Player of the Year in all of college basketball and the ACC. But you don't have no expectations of him being 1st or 2nd all defense ever in his career? No Defensive Player of the Year candidacy at all? Not a league leader in any defensive category at all? And you don't hate that person. The person who's supposed to lock down the best offensive player on the other team. You don't hate that person, though. You just hate Trae. And Trae is not even the worst defender on our team. I've proved that like countless times. So all that being said, I'm doing these reviews to have something in, history, the historical books. Because again, when Trae Young actually does win a championship with the Atlanta Hawks, all this bad stuff that people have been posting online and the hatred and stuff, you can't come back and change that all of a sudden, be at the parade on Peachtree Street, because we're going to screenshot everything. Why would you be on the wrong side? Why would you want to be on the wrong side of history that bad just because you hate Trae Young? I'm saying this to everybody. And by the way, just to repeat, the Hawks are going to at least be the 6th seed, even despite what I'm about to show y'all right now. I still say I'm sticking with it. because I believe it, that the Hawks are going to be 6th seed this season. So I had to say all that. I know it was a little bit long. Hopefully, I'll get some other people to tune in. I know it's a work day for most people and everything, but that's why I record these and I'll repost it. But here we go. So for those, again, who've never watched a review, what I do is I go quarter by quarter, first quarter, second quarter, and I go shot for shot of the opposing team and what they actually did. But before I do that, I tell you what happened in the game. So the Hawks beat the Pacers 131 to 130. And really, it was kind of like a split squad game because in the first half, the starters, for the most part, played. And then after that, they kind of got knocked off. They weren't coming back in the game, right? So everybody played about 20 minutes or so, give or take, 18 to 20 minutes. Now, in this game, the Hawks gave up 64 points in the paint. They gave up 19 second chance points. They gave up 17 fast break points. The Pacers hit 13 threes in the game. Now, if you know me and you've been watching some of my shows over the last couple of weeks, you know one of my things I am angry about is that the Hawks were 28th in fast break points given up last year. They were 26th in block shots last year. They were 25th in points in the paint given up last year. It was 53 points or more. They gave up 14 threes a game last year. One player can't do all that on their own. Can they? The answer is no. So keep that in mind as I do this review. Now, Siakam, also what I do in these reviews is I let you know the top 3 scorers of the opposing team, and then what I don't think I did it this time. Oh, yes, I did. I give you the top 3 scorers on the Hawks. Now, usually what I would do is tell you what everybody did, but this is a preseason game. I didn't want to do that this time. So in this game, Siakam had 15, Quentin Jackson had 13, and Cole Swider had 12. For the Hawks, JJ led with 19 and 10 with 3 steals. Our rookie, ZR, had 18, and Trey had 17 and 6. Okay. Now, for the Hawks, they did have 60 points in the paint, so that evened it out a little bit for them. They had 10 second chance points. They did have 24 fast break points, so that's pretty good. Okay, that evened out the fast break points that they gave up. Okay, so that's pretty decent. And usually I would do the following last, but I'm going to do it first this time. And this is the reason of the post that I did the other day and why I did the intro that I did this morning. In the first half of the preseason game against the Pacers on Tuesday, Trae Young gave up 6 points. Hunter gave up 12. JJ gave up 13. Clint gave up 4. Kobe 2. Nance 4. Vit 6. ZR 5. And Daniels 5. And one of the other things that I'm going to make mention, and I think I mentioned it in a post. Actually, I did mention it in the post. Some of the reasons why you don't give up points or you give up points. And I'm gonna read it for you because I want to make sure. Oh shoot, how am I find it? I want to make sure that you understand how I put stuff together, so that way in the future you have a little bit of an idea of how deep I go with stuff. All right. So I think this will be the easiest way for me to find it. And everything is slow. So of course, easy one, you gave up the bucket because that was your guy and he scored on you. That's easy, right? You turn the ball over and it's a one-man fast break. That's your turnover. They scored only because you turned the ball over. So that's your point. Okay. If you're not guarding anybody and your man scores, that is your bucket because you didn't pick up nobody else. Once you pick up somebody else, now I can attribute that basket given up on whoever was the person on them at the time. But if you never actually did anything in that possession, I'm giving that point to you because you weren't doing nothing. You were just out there lagging around, whatever it is. Okay. And sometimes players, here's some of the reasons why players don't give up a lot of points in the game. Sometimes the best scorer on the other team didn't play that game. So that'd be one reason, right? Sometimes that player is not taking a lot of shot attempts. In the Pacers game that they scored 157 points on the Hawks, Tyrese Halliburton didn't take that many shots that game. Go and look. Again, go subscribe to IMT and Worldwide Radio on YouTube, and you can watch all these games that I'm talking about. Another reason usage. If you are on the floor, but then you go to the bench and then your second player comes onto the floor, but that first starter on the other team stays on the floor and they go haywire, that could be a reason why you might not give up as many points as people might think you would because of that, right? So those are just some things that you got to kind of take into consideration sometimes. Oh, the other one, not staying with your assignment. Like on a fast break, you're just going to just pick somebody else, even though you know you need to stay with Pascal Siakam. Instead, I'm gonna go get Mathis instead. And then so Siakam comes all the way down and scores because he's up against somebody who can't really guard him. But you're supposed to be the guy to stop Siakam, right? So those are just some things I just wanted to bring out too, as far as just how I break some stuff down. Because again, I play basketball. I've been playing basketball for 40 years. And again, I just look at it just from the sheer aspect of doing your job, doggone it. Okay. I'm a very competitive person, and I couldn't get picked up if I was to do some of the things that I see on the basketball court in the NBA every night, especially with the Hawks. And one thing I am disappointed in after I actually did this review is that we still don't have a defensive coach. And I'm going to show you why I say that as I go through these shots, okay? We don't have nobody doing anything still. I'm mad about that. We're just still out there kind of winging it. Now, it was preseason, it was first game and everything, but I seen the same stuff that I showed y'all in the Bulls game, the Timberwolves game, the Hornets game, the Pacers game, the Detroit Pistons game, the Dallas game, and the Heat game. I'm missing a game in there somewhere. Okay. By the way, 50 points, Malachi Flynn. Trae Young didn't play that game. Why did Malachi Flynn have 50 points? Nobody can show me why. Nobody can show me why the Denver Nuggets had 142 points in a 48-minute game, shot 56% from three, 60% from the floor, and hit 23 three-pointers on the Atlanta Hawks, and Trae didn't play. If Trae Young ain't on the floor, per what everybody keeps saying, any game that he don't play, the Hawks should shut everybody down. And that did not happen in the 28 games that he missed. We were still getting killed by everybody. And for the season last year, shooting guards averaged 30 points a game against the Hawks, and small forwards averaged 27 points a game. Last I checked, Trae Young don't guard either of those positions. In the Chicago Bulls playing game, last game of the season, game 83, Trae Young didn't give up 42 points to Kobe White. He didn't give up 24 points to Vucevic. And he didn't give up 22 points to DeRozan. Why? Because he was never any of their primary defenders. There's 5 people on the floor. And Trae is just one of them. So why is not anybody mad that those things happened in a playing game that we were about to get eliminated in? Nobody says nothing about that. They also don't say nothing about the fact that Hunter in that game scored 8 points and had 2 rebounds. Nobody says nothing in the game. We got blown out. 157 points the Pacers scored on us. Game 82, Hunter had 6 points and 2 rebounds in that game. If we want to go back to Hunter again as a player, players are going to give up points. You want some players to not give up as much points as others. There's an expectation for certain players, though, to be better at defense, and they're not. And at least Trae, in his case, can even out his per production. Trae Young, first of all, ain't giving up 40 points a game. You wish he would, but he ain't. I can prove that. But at least Trae Young, by his production, can even that out for the 40, 45, 50 points a game he produces each night. Nobody cares about none of that, though. You just want to try to blame Trae Young for everything? Well, it's just wrong. So here we go. So first half, first quarter. Let's see, where am I at here? First quarter, first shot. So let me set this up for you. And at the end of this review, I will do my last little bit. I hadn't done it in a while. I'm gonna do it this particular show as well, just so you see how thorough I am, I guess. Hopefully I don't forget. We'll see. Let me take a quick sip here. Got to get a sip of the good stuff. There is water. It's water. So first quarter. So here we go. First shot of the game that, oh, by the way, I only do shots that go in the bucket. So I'm not doing fouls. I'm not doing free throws, things of that nature. I'm only doing field goals that go in the bucket from the other team. Okay, so just let you know that too. So in this particular possession, Trey has Nembhard, JJ has Siakam, Hunter has Nesmith, Dyson has Tyrese, and Clint has Wiseman. Remember, Turner didn't play Tuesday night. So Nembhard fakes Trey out and dives to the basket. He gets ahead of Trey. Siakam passes him the ball. JJ switches. Nembhard passes to Siakam. Siakam then drives, then passes back to Nembhard. Now, at this point, Trey is back on Nembhard. Nembhard drives to the basket. Trey is kind of with him, but then Nembhard stops and pops. Here's a jumper.
Signed a big contract with Indiana in the summer. He'll be a Pacer for the next 4 years. Moving in is Nembhard, and he scores.
Now, if the rest of the game was just that right there, you might have an argument of how the Indiana Pacers scored 130 games, 130 points in a game. But that is not how the whole game went. And guess what? I've never said Trey never gave up no points. I never said Trey Young is the best defender on the team. I've never said Trey Young is the best defender in the NBA. I have said, though, Trey Young is a league leader when it comes to charges taken. He's always taking the ball from people per his 1 point something steals every game that he gets. He does stay with his man more than not. He's not the worst defender on our team, though. And he's gotten better each year at defense. He'll say that he wasn't a good defender when he first started. I mean, he was bad. But he's gotten better each year because he's putting in the effort. How come Hunter is not leading the team in charges taken? How come he's not leading in every single defensive category in our team? Going back to Hunter. He's supposed to be the best defender. But anyway, I digress. Had to bring it up. Second shot. Trey misses a runner. Fast break now coming down for the Pacers. So Tyrese is bringing the ball up. Dyson has Tyrese. Clint has Wiseman. Trey has Nembhard. JJ has Siakam. Hunter has Nesmith. Fortunately, though, Hunter doesn't get to his man. Dyson is forced to pick up Nesmith. When Tyree gets to the top of the key, he passes to a wide open Nesmith. Then Nesmith passes it back to a wide open Tyrese. Because guess what? You'll see it in a second. He hits a three-pointer. Now, again, Hunter comes out to try to contend, but he's way down in the paint because he wasn't guarding anybody. This is the second shot of the first quarter.
Runner by Trey is short. Halliburton gives it up. He'll take the three, getting it back and nailing that three.
Now, one of the things I also talk about when I do my reviews is stopping the doggone ball. We don't do it. We don't do it. We ain't going to stop the ball. We're just going to let whatever happen, happen. We're also not going to stay with our assignment. On the fast break, you have assignments, and if you can't get to your assignment, you got to pick up somebody. But the other thing that the Hawks don't do is talk. You'll see that through this review as well. On the 8 games that I've reviewed, I've shown y'all all of these things. We don't block out. We don't get back on defense, which is why we were 28th in fast break points given up. We don't rotate. We can't fight through screens. We don't contest shots. In the 8 games that I showed y'all so far, there's so many times where not only will you not run out to a person, but if you did, you're not putting a hand up. You're not even jumping. More than not, you're going to just watch the ball go in the hoop. You could come up, but instead you're going to just back up and let them lay the ball up. It's crazy, but unless you actually watch shot for shot, you don't either notice these things or maybe you just don't care that these things are happening every night. I care, which is why I show them, of everybody, everything that happens, not just one player, not just half a player, but everybody. That was the second shot of the first half. Third shot, Siakam has the ball, has it in the post. JJ has him. Siakam backs him down, hits a fadeaway. Pretty simple.
Siakam one-on-one with Jalen. Goes to the fade and connects.
He is a load around the basket. We've seen so much of that.
So somebody's trying to call me in the middle of my show. So that was the third shot. Pretty simple, like I said. And by the way, you can comment in the comment section if you happen to be watching now or watch it later after you get off of work or whatever. You got free time. Make sure you share the show with someone. Make sure you subscribe right down there. IMTN Worldwide Radio, and share it with at least one other Atlanta Hawk fan or Atlanta sports fan. I do have a Falcon show coming up pretty soon as well. Fourth shot. So again, well, I actually just said I'm going to say it again. You got to stop the ball. Somebody has to stop the ball. Why are you just letting them come up and just doing whatever? Somebody stop the ball. You couldn't get away with it if you were playing somewhere, right? So why do we let it happen? Fourth shot. So Siakam gets a rebound off a missed shot by Hunter. Siakam's taking the ball up the court, all the way up the court. Then he goes around Hunter into the paint. Now, at that point, Clint has to move up a little bit to try to contest, which would leave Wiseman open, obviously. So Siakam does the obvious and passes it to Wiseman. He lays it up. Fourth shot.
Well, Hunter's had two really good looks at the basket, but again, this one guys are a little rusty, so you just got to keep playing, and it would definitely come back to you.
And there's a dunk for James Wiseman.
No need. There ain't no excuse for being rusty at this point. Not that. Want to see it again? Let me show you it again.
Well, Hunter's had two really good looks at the basket, but again, this one guys are a little rusty, so you just got to keep playing, and it would definitely come back to you.
And there's a dunk for James Wiseman.
That was preventable. I wouldn't have let that happen. I'm double. What's it? I'm twice as old as everybody on that court, and probably most everybody who's watching right now. I'm not letting Siakam call him all the way up the court like that. I'm stopping him and make him pass the ball to somebody else so we can reset. That's not what the Hawks do, though. We just let teams do whatever they want to. They dictate everything. It gets worse, though. Fifth shot. So Trey has Nembhard. Dyson has Tyrese. Nembhard has the ball at the top of the key. Wiseman comes to set a screen. Trey goes through as Nembhard begins to drive to the basket. JJ has left his man to come into the paint, but doesn't contest the shot, though. Clint is backing up to stay with Wiseman to try to maybe prevent a lob. Nembhard, though, he just pulls up for a jumper again, which he hits. And I give this one to Trey, though, just because of how the play sets up. Fifth shot, first quarter.
Right of your screen, Ryan Bailey. 9-3 Indiana. Little mid-ranger for Nembhard.
Too many people out of position. One other thing that I talk about is using your peripheral. There should never be a reason why your back is to your assignment at any given time during the basketball game. It should never happen. But for the Hawks, it happens every night. And that's why I continue to say we do not have a teacher on defense on our coaching staff because it's never adjusted. Game after game after game, it's the same stuff. And if you go back and look at the games I reviewed on my page, you'll see me talk about that because it keeps happening. It's preventable, though, especially in the high-scoring games. It's bad. One player giving up 7 threes in a game, you don't think that's a bad thing? It wasn't Trae Young, by the way. Go look at the Dallas game that I reviewed. But anyway, was that number 5? 6 shot, first quarter. So JJ has Siakam. Daniels has Tyrese. Hunter has Nesmith. Tyrese passes to an open Nesmith. Nesmith drives, okay? JJ is not looking at Siakam at this point. In fact, there are 4 Hawks in the paint right now, okay? Nesmith is going to pass to Tyrese. Tyrese pumps for 3. Dyson runs from the paint. Tyrese passes to Siakam, and he hits the 3 because JJ has left his man. Watch all this, how it unfolds. 6 shot. Wait a minute. Yeah, 6 shot. First quarter.
And Dyson Daniels learning how to play with Trey. Halliburton. Siakam. And he nails a 3.
That is how you give up 14 or more threes for the season last year. That's absurd. That's how you give up 18, 23, and 18 threes in 3 straight games last year. At the end of last season, during the 7-game losing streak, that's how it happened for the most part. Trae Young didn't play none of those games. Y'all don't care about that, though. And there's people who still blame Trae Young for those 3 games he didn't play, that we gave up 18, 23, and 18 threes in 3 straight games. That's how absurd some folks are. That gives you a little bit of an idea of my reviews of the other games that I've shown, or how crazy it is out there. By the way, does Trae Young play Rudy Gobert? Rudy Gobert had 25 points against the Hawks at the end of last year, 10 for 10 shooting. Is Trae Young supposed to stop Rudy Gobert? You know how tall Rudy Gobert is? And Rudy Gobert went 10 for 10. Who's guarding Rudy? Y'all don't care about that, though, I guess. But 7th shot, first quarter. So JJ has Siakam again. Hunter has Tyrese. Dyson has Nembhard in this possession. Trae has Nesmith. Not sure how that happened, but whatever, right? So Tyrese passes to Siakam. He dribbles off and he does a dribble handoff to Nesmith. Nesmith drives, okay? JJ leaves Siakam. So Trae goes to Siakam, okay, since JJ left. So JJ is picking up Nesmith now, right? Dyson has left his man and then jumps, I think, anticipating a pass, but not quite. I don't know why he jumped in this case. But since he jumped, now he's out of position. Wiseman cuts to the other side of the paint, and he gets the pass from Nesmith, and he lays it up. By the way, Wiseman only shot the ball 4 times. He hit all 4, and he had 8 points in the first half. And remember, we gave up 64 points in the paint. I just want y'all to keep reminding yourself, we gave up 64 points in the paint in this game. This is shot number 7. Yep. Let me scroll up some.
Halliburton around to Siakam. Wiseman, he connects.
All they do is pass and cut till they find an open guy.
So you saw how that unfolded? Another preventable shot, but it wasn't prevented. 8th shot, first quarter. Nesmith gives the ball to Siakam in the post. ZR has him, the rookie. Siakam turns to drive. Dyson comes to double. So this is one of the first times this season we actually doubled somebody early. And it's Dyson that did it. See, in the 8 games I reviewed of the 2023 season, we don't ever double anybody who's scoring all the points. We don't ever double the most dominant scorer on the other team. We didn't do it in Miami game where Tyler Hero had 33 points in that game. We didn't do it against Malachi Flynn, who dropped 50 on the Hawks. 50 on the Hawks. We don't do it against Kyrie. We don't do it against Luka. We don't double team nobody. We just let you do whatever you want to do out there, sir. Come on down. Price is right. But anyway, Dyson comes to double. So Kobe now has Nembhard. Nembhard goes to the paint. Siakam passes to Nembhard, and he lays it up. Now, I'm going to say this. Clint was there because he actually had left Wiseman. So it was an opportunity to maybe stop that shot. But, again, you got to still do it.
Pacers go right at Zachary, and who does he draw? Siakam. Here's Nembhard going up and in, and a foul on Bucket.
You see how slow Clint was to doing whatever it was he was going to do? I mean, once you go ahead and make the decision you're going to leave your man to try to help. You're not supposed to let the little people get baskets. See, in one of the shows that I did called What's the Point, I talk about people doing their jobs. When I walk on the court, almost 95% of the time, I'm the tallest and biggest guy out there. My job, no matter what happens, I can't let the little people get the rebound. And I got to make sure that the center on the other team doesn't score. Whatever else, that's my job. And I know that. That's why I get picked. That's why I get picked up. That's why I don't have to ever put my name on the list. Because they know Chris, at the very worst, he's going to do that for me. He's going to give me some tip rebounds. It's like the Barlow tip, which is one of the reasons I talked about him being active and stuff. That Barlow tip, that's one of the things that I provide. I might not be able to get the rebound, but I can get it to one of my other teammates. I'm going to set screens for you. I'm going to make sure you get open. And if you play the offense through me in the post, I'm going to get you wide open shots because I love to pass. I'm trying to get 6 assists a night, and I do it most nights. Do your job, but be able to do some of the other things. You leave me wide open for a shot, I'm going to hit it. If I'm in the post, I can hit a turnaround. I can hit a baby hook. I would be ashamed as a man that after 40 years, I still couldn't hit a 10-foot jumper. That's crazy, but whatever. I'm getting sidetracked here. But anyway, that was shot number 8. And again, we gave up 64 points in the paint in this game. 9th shot, first quarter. JJ is out. Hunter now has Siakam. When I say JJ is out, I mean he's on the bench. So Hunter has Siakam now. Dyson has Nembhard. ZR has Nesmith. Nembhard has the ball. He dribbles left. Siakam goes towards him, but he doesn't set a screen. One of the issues I also had last year was so many times, again, because we don't talk, you got players coming by, but they're not actually setting the screen, but the Hawks act like they're setting the screen anyway. And so you create your own mismatches for no reason. You create space for people to do stuff just because you're reacting to something that didn't even happen. That's crazy to me. And there's never an adjustment off the bench. But anyway, so Siakam goes towards him, doesn't set a screen, but for some reason Hunter leaves Siakam and now is playing Nembhard, even though Dyson has Nembhard. So you got 2 people on one person for no reason. Nembhard ain't dropping 50 points on the Hawks in this game. But anyway, Nembhard passes to Siakam, who, guess what? He's wide open for another 3. And there is no contest on this 3 either. Watch this. This actually happened in the game now.
Nembhard back to Siakam. And he drains another 3, his second of the night.
That's bad defense, folks. Trey don't have nothing to do with that. Trey wasn't preventing Hunter from doing his job. All Hunter had to do is stay with Siakam. They would have had to do something. Let me play it again.
Nembhard back to Siakam. And he drains another 3, his second of the night.
They would have had to make another pass if Hunter had just stayed on his man. That wouldn't have been a wide open 3 at the very worst. That was a wide open 3, though, because Hunter's just doing whatever. Again, this is just going shot for shot. Hunter is not the only one giving up points. This is just this particular shot. JJ done gave up some points. Trey gave up some points so far, right? ZR done gave up some points. Kobe done. You see what I'm saying? 10th shot, first quarter. Tyrese has the ball over half court. Siakam comes to set an actual screen this time. Dyson doesn't go around, but goes under. Sometimes that's okay, sometimes not. You know why? Hunter doesn't come up to switch, though, on Tyrese, but backs up. So Wiseman comes and sets a pick on Hunter. And then he dives to the basket. Nance is there, but Hunter, for some reason, goes with Wiseman, leaving Tyrese wide open. So Kobe is standing in the paint. Again, we got too many people standing in the paint for no reason. With his man wide open at the 3, Tyrese misses the shot, but nobody blocks out Wiseman. He gets the board and lays it right back up. 10th shot, first quarter. And I lost it. There it is.
I'm looking for these guys to do some special things. Now, these exhibition games for you to really find out what you do best. And if you do that, you're going to put yourself in a good position.
Wiseman, offensive rebound, stick back, and one.
You got to stay with your man. And then you got freaking block out. The reason we were 25th in points in the paint given up is simple stuff that can be fixed, and it's not being fixed. I don't care if it's preseason. We should see some differences. And I got madder and madder as I realized as I was going just through the first half that we didn't do anything, as far as I can tell. And all you gotta do for me to prove that is go through the 8 games of the last 8 games of the 2023 season, and you'll see everything that I'm talking about so far. You'll see it all because I break it all down, shot for shot. 11th shot of the first quarter for the Indiana Pacers. TJ is in the game now. You know we hate TJ McConnell, right? So TJ has the ball. At the start of the play, I'm not sure why Nance has left Toppin. Okay. TJ passes it late to Toppin. Toppin has to pass it to Walker now. And you got a man wide open in the corner, by the way. Walker's wide open in the corner, by the way. Wide open in the corner. Because nobody is guarding him. You want to know why? Because 5 Hawks are in the paint. 5 is standing in there. ZR turns around and runs to try to contest. And because all the Hawks are in the paint, Trey has to rotate to the open guard, Mathurin. So he doesn't get a wide open pass from Walker because he was wide open. But guess what? Since Trey had to rotate, somebody needed to rotate on TJ, and that didn't happen. And you'll see the result. This is the 11th shot first quarter.
TJ McConnell. Toppin. Back to McConnell.
Man, we've seen that shot too many times.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, yeah, JJ was there. Was that really a good contest? Not really. I mean, but it's all about the rotation and all about the staying with your man. Again, the fact that we don't stay with our man in the assignment on the possession creates the mismatches. It's not people switching their player to get on Trae Young. That's not happening. I showed you that in the 8 games, hours of game footage. You don't have center saying, hey, I'm the Joker. Come, Murray or whoever. Hey, come set a screen for me so I can have Trae Young in the post. Joel Embiid ain't doing that. Porzingis ain't doing that. We create our own mismatches. It's because we won't stay with our man and we won't rotate. We won't fight through switches. Screens, I should say. That's what's happening. That's what's been happening. And we won't change. Last shot of the first quarter. Vit has TJ now. TJ comes up. Mathurin sets a pick. And instead of switching, somebody could have called it out. Okay. TJ drives hard to the bucket. Trey leaves his man to try to come to contest. Vit is on his hip. I mean, he's already blown by Vit. That was his guy. But TJ hits a reverse layup.
Nance beginning his 10th season. Nice drive by TJ.
And he's such a thorn in the Hawks side.
No, I know.
He's been that way for quite some time.
We'll play that one more time.
Nance beginning his 10th season. Nice drive by TJ.
And he's such a thorn in the Hawks side.
No, I know.
He's been that way for quite some time.
Read and react. Where is the help defender? Trey kind of tried to take a little bit of a charge, but otherwise he would have fouled him in the paint, and, early in the game like that, and then risking injury. Would y'all really want that? Probably not. But he was there, though, at least. He did switch. And again, there was no rotation. There was no reaction to TJ McConnell blowing by Vit, because that was the initial person he went by. Like he wasn't there. That was the first quarter. Second quarter. Now, again, this is why I'm going to start this quarter off by, again, reiterating, this is why I say we don't got nobody on our team teaching defense. We don't have no assistants on our team teaching any kind of formalized defensive structure, discipline, nothing. Okay? And we need it. We need it desperately. Fast break. Nobody gets on their assignments. So when TJ brings the ball up across half court, I want you to look at this. Who does Garrison have? Who does Larry Nance Jr. have? TJ passes to a cutting Obi. JJ leaves him. Obi passes to Walker, and both Garrison and Nance decide to play him. Vit leaves Mathurin. I want you to ask, where is JJ going? Walker passes to Mathurin, and he drives all the way to the bucket for another layup. Remember, Pacers scored 64 points in the paint. Here's the first shot of the second quarter. Oh, gosh, what is that? Did I miss it? No. Okay, here it is.
And Mathurin slicing through the defense.
That was a little bit too easy there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. There's a little bit too easy there. I'm gonna play it again for y'all.
And Matherin slicing through the defense.
That was a little bit too easy there.
That had nothing to do with Trae Young. I'm sorry. For those who hate Trae Young, explain to me, after I explained to you what happened before the playing of the clip, I'll play it a third time. I usually don't play them 3 times.
And Matherin slicing through the defense.
That was a little bit too easy there.
I mean, shoot, what was Vitt doing there at the very end of that play? We don't stay with our assignments. We don't talk on defense. We don't move when we need to. It's a problem. Second shot, this is an easy one. JJ turns it over. Obi dunks it. This is all on JJ on this one. Second shot, second quarter.
Hawks looking to capitalize on the turnover, but instead give one up. Man, it's going to be an easy dunk for Toppin.
That's why I explained that at the beginning, how I attributed points to people. That was on JJ. Because there was nobody on the other side to say that there was a defender there to try to stop the shot. So when there's a one-on-none fast break, it's whoever turned over the ball. Okay. Third shot. So again, assignments on the fast break. Again, the Hawks were 28th last year in fast break points given up. So people don't get on their assignments. Trae misses a shot. TJ gets the ball. He looks down court and he sees Obi Toppin by himself with Garrison. Imagine that. So TJ gives him the ball and Obi lays it up. So why isn't Larry Nance on Obi Toppin? Why was Garrison supposed to stop him? Do you really believe Garrison was supposed to, I guess he could have wrapped him up. I guess he could have kicked him in the balls and fouled him. But the height difference tells you that was going to be a layup.
Had a shot, gives it up. Trae takes it, misses. I wouldn't mind seeing Beat launch that one.
Yeah, it was wide open. Should have taken that shot.
Inside Toppin. And the mismatch and a timeout.
He got fouled, too. It was an and one. Fourth shot, second quarter. So Kobe has TJ, Nance has Obi, JJ has Walker. Again, why is JJ in the paint on this possession? I want you to think about that. You got to stay with your man. Matherin drives, and 5 Hawks are in the paint this time. 5 individual Atlanta Hawks are in the paint for some reason. So Obi and Walker are wide open now. Okay. So there's a pass to Walker, and he hits a wide open 3, but he could have passed it to Walker or Obi. Again, this is just a representation on why the Atlanta Hawks gave up 14 threes a game last year. This is the 4th shot of the second quarter.
5 starters and the 5 bench guys working together through this first preseason game. Walker, high arcing 3 is good.
He finally gets one to go.
Let me just say this before I play this one again. And again, I'm just talking about from me playing basketball. Let me get a little sip of this stuff. This is just talking from me playing basketball. I don't care what's happening on the other side of the court, because my job is to make sure that my man don't score. So even if I got switched on, let's say, Ja Morant, I got to stay with Ja Morant through the whole possession. So whether or not he's running around on the outside of the 3 or he's trying to cut in and stuff like that, I got to run around with him. But I don't care what's happening with the ball handler, because that's not my guy. Watch as I play this again and watch how many eyes are on the ball handler sacrificing their assignment because of it. Because that's not defense, people. Your peripheral vision can take care of you. Your teammates talking to you, Chris left, Chris right, as far as upcoming screens, or Chris, you're by yourself. Chris, switch. Usually, though, we talk about whether or not we're going to stay with man or switch on screens before the game starts. But the Hawks don't do any of these things, which is why we give up so many points. It's a team thing, not an individualistic thing. And I'm telling y'all this for a reason. But some of y'all don't care about that. I'm going to make sure you know about it. So let me play that clip again.
5 starters and the 5 bench guys working together through this first preseason game. Walker, high arcing 3 is good.
He finally gets one to go.
Did you see all the highs looking at the ball going to hoop as well? No contest. Again, our team gave up 14 threes a game last year. That is not sustainable to do that a second year in a row. 14 threes or more, by the way. 5th shot, second quarter. Again, what are we doing? Dyson has left his man wide open at the start of the possession. What is Nats doing? Does Vitt have TJ or Matherin? Who's Kobe guarding? Next time on Batman, right? So I'm gonna just play this. I don't even want to go through the rest of it.
TJ McConnell.
That's his shot. That's his spot.
That's not defense, people. And it don't got nothing to do with Trae Young. This is a team issue. This is a team issue. We are not being coached. I'm telling y'all, we are not being coached, and it's being allowed. Them timeouts ain't doing us no good. They're not saying nothing about the discipline, the talking on. It's not happening. Who is our defensive coach? Who's responsible? I need to know, because it's not happening. This is bad. Yes, we have some different players, and the different players are going to regulate some of this out over a course of time, but not this first preseason game. It didn't look like that. It looks like you got different players in there, and it's almost as if they're being told to play like that. I swear to God, at this point, the people playing 5 people in the paint all the time. Instead of you staying with your man, you got to be you got to have your 1 foot in the paint instead of actually at the 3 with your man. That looks like something's coached. We need a defensive coach on our team desperately. 6th shot. Actually, I want to play that 5th shot one more time just for the heck of it.
TJ McConnell.
That's his shot. That's his spot.
We can't keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. So, where am I at? 6th shot. So ZR has Nembhard. Nembhard drives and hits a jumper off the glass. Pretty simple.
Wiseman's going to help this ball club.
Yeah, he's been very active tonight. There's the off the glass there by Nembhard.
And he's got 10.
That was his last bucket of the game, by the way, because he only had 10 points. Okay. They had 64 points in the paint, y'all. 7th shot, second quarter. Siakam posts up Hunter this time, and he scores.
Siakam getting bumped by Hunter. And he rolls it in. He just stays with it.
So what am I supposed to – how is it my fault that Hunter couldn't stop Siakam right there? How is it my fault that Hunter gave up 12 points in the first half? How is that my fault? How is that my fault that Hunter gave up 12 points in the first half and he was like 0 for 7 to start the game? How is that my fault? None of that is my fault. 8th shot, second quarter. So someone tell me how Kobe is playing in the paint again is actual defense for our team. Nembhard is wide open. He passes it to Tyrese. Dyson goes for a steal. Nothing wrong with that necessarily. Tyrese drives to the basket, though. Hunter is there, doesn't move. Clint is there, and I can say he doesn't move to prevent a lob to Wiseman, but still, in this case, you got to contest and force them to make the move. Force Tyrese to make the actual pass. But maybe he wasn't trying to pass, and maybe he was trying to shoot. At that point, it's a shot contest, right? And also, Hunter could have just stopped the ball, but none of those things actually happened in this possession.
Halliburton will flip it up and in.
I'll play it again.
Halliburton will flip it up and in.
So you saw this clip and the clip before, you saw where Nance was in the clip before. That's what I'm talking about. It seems like they're being told to do that. That's not defense. It's not. Be on your man. You should never be 20 feet away from your guy. That is not defense. You can't win like that. I proved that. The 8 games that I showed y'all last year, I showed y'all that. You can't keep doing that and think you're going to win a lot of games. It's embarrassing to me. Ninth shot, second quarter. Nembhard has the ball. Wiseman comes and sets the screen. Then he drives to the bucket. Again, there's 5 people with toes in the paint. Nembhard passes to a wide open Nesmith who hits another 3. They hit 13 threes in this game, by the way.
5:05 first half. Nesmith drills it. Good looking 3.
I'm going to play that again. Look and see where Hunter was.
5:05 first half. Nesmith drills it. Good looking 3.
Also, nobody was on Siakam either. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a team issue. Admit that, and then we can talk. Don't got nothing to do with Trae Young. Trae Young is just one player, and he ain't the worst defender. Bogey wasn't out there tonight. That night, Tuesday night. So anyway, 10th shot. We're almost done. 10th shot. So I'm going to say this again. I've been saying it. We are not being coached on defense at all. Here's another fast break. Nobody's getting to an assignment. Tyrese is bringing the ball up. Dyson is on him. Clint's supposed to be on Wiseman. ZR is supposed to be on Nesmith. Tyrese passes it to Nesmith. With ZR out of position, Clint now has to move to try to contest the drive. Daniels is now also looking at Nesmith rather than staying with his man. So guess what happens? Nesmith passes it to Tyrese, and the rest is history.
You got to learn how to shoot that 3 with more consistency.
Siakam. Here comes Halliburton, and he hits that 3.
Let me play it again.
You got to learn how to shoot that 3 with more consistency.
Siakam. Here comes Halliburton, and he hits that 3.
And did you see the non-contest on the 3? Like, why would you put your arms down? Why would you give up? I'm sorry, you're on the court. You got to be trying all the way through the possession. It's so frustrating. Again, what did I say? We don't contest shots. We don't contest threes. We don't rotate. We don't fight through screens. We don't call nothing out on defense, and we don't block out. We don't get back on defense. This is why we lost games last year, not because of Trae Young. The other point from what I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, if Trae Young was so bad on defense that he was the reason we lost all games, the 60 games that he has missed in 6 seasons, the Hawks would be 60-0 if that was true, right? I've said this before, but I'm repeating it. The Hawks would be 60-0, or at least 50-10, heck, 40-20, if Trae Young was so bad to the Hawks that when he's gone, we're always going to win. Well, that's just not true. Want to know how I know that? Because the Hawks are 27-33 without Trae Young. They've lost 33 games without Trae on the floor. 33. Want to know why? Because it's hard to replace 25 and 10. It ain't easy to do that. Every game? Sometimes you might have a nice game by somebody, but we're talking about every game. And it just didn't happen last year. How do I know that? Because we went 14-14. We didn't go 28-0. We didn't move up in the standings. Anyway, was that the 10th shot? Yeah, Tyrese hit the 3. So, 11th shot. Fast break again. Again, reminder, 28th in fast break points given up. We were 28th in the NBA last year in fast break points given up. In this particular game, we gave up 17. Okay. 11 shots. So it's a fast break. Siakam brings the ball up. And after two, and now I'm going to give context. Beginning of this possession, you got two Hawks on the ground in the paint on the other side of the court. So Siakam gets the rebound, dribbles up a little bit, passes it, I think, to, who is it? Tyrese, I think. Okay. Siakam is flashing down the lane, right down the middle. Nobody picks him up. Clint is going down the court, but he got his back turned and pointing around like the Hawks like to do. They just point. That's defense, pointing. You're going to assume somebody's going to do something because of a point. No! Don't work for us. That don't work. Fast break, you got to turn around and stop somebody. And not only do you have a responsibility to stop the ball when it's coming up the court, you have a responsibility to stop a streaking player down the court too, to stop their progression. Because here's what happens when you don't. I'll finish this. So Clint is there, but he got his back turned, so he never sees Siakam coming down the court. He's streaking right up the middle. Tyrese gives him a great pass. He lays it up. Hunter was there. He could have come up and stopped him, fouled him, something, and he doesn't do anything either.
Halliburton behind the back to Siakam, left-hand lay-in.
What a pass. What a pass.
Hunter did nothing right there. Let me play it again.
Halliburton behind the back to Siakam, left-hand lay-in.
What a pass. What a pass.
Tell me all the good things y'all saw about that. Like, I want you to dictate this. Like, if you're not watching right now live and you're watching after the fact, in the comment section, I want you to tell me all the good things that happened in that possession that were positive. I want you to tell me how positive it was that you just have these guys coming up the court and nobody's defending anybody. I want you to tell me how it was just cool for Clint to just be like lackadaisical, not in no position, out of position, like my co-host Jordan Jackson likes to say all the time. And I especially want you to tell me how it was okay for Hunter to not do anything. Let me play it a third time.
Halliburton behind the back to Siakam, left-hand lay-in.
What a pass. What a pass.
In the 8 games that I reviewed for the 2023 season, I pointed out how so many times you got Hunter blocking out for a shot that hasn't gone up yet instead of actually defending a shot. That's not defense. That's saying, I don't want to play defense. I don't want to get hit. I might not want to get hurt. I'm too delicate. That's what that tells me. I'm a kind of pretend like I'm doing my job, but my real job is to actually stop people from scoring buckets. That's my job. 12th shot, second quarter. JJ has Siakam, but JJ is in the paint. Result? When you have a drive to the basket, your man is wide open. You know what he's going to do? He's going to hit a three. Let's watch it.
Siakam from Halliburton, a nice easy three.
That's JJ's guy. That's why JJ gave up 13 points in the first half. He wasn't sticking nobody. You see, one of the things at the very beginning of the show, I said, this is how I attribute points. He didn't pick up nobody. He wasn't guarding nobody. Siakam was his guy. Trey can't block that. Stop it. Let me play it again for you.
Siakam from Halliburton, a nice easy three.
Trey was with his guy, and in fact, his guy ended up blocking him out to make sure he couldn't go over to Siakam by blocking him out. JJ just never got to Siakam, and we gave up another three. 13 threes they hit in this game. last shot of the second quarter. So watch this. Hunter has Siakam again. He drives. He jumps, and even though he isn't shooting, Clint is jumping as if he's trying to block a shot. It's actually a pass to Tyrese. Tyrese, who is now open because nobody got to their assignments again. Okay. So Daniels is in the paint and not on Tyrese. JJ isn't guarding anybody again. Sorry, he isn't. And since Hunter was on Siakam, and since Clint was in the air trying to block a pass, when Siakam does pass to Tyrese, guess what? He passes it to a Wiseman who's coming down the lane for another layup, which is his last shot of the night and the last shot of the first half. Here we go.
Pascal going in on Hunter. In the middle to Wiseman. He scored.
Nice little jump hook inside of, again, Indiana.
So what have we learned in this review of just the first half? I'm not doing the second half. It's a preseason game. It is not one person's fault. It's the whole team. And for some players, it's more their fault than others simply because they gave up more points than anybody else. That's not my fault. I'm just telling you like it is because that's what happened. JJ gave up 13 points. Hunter gave up 12 points in the first half. Trey gave up 6. Vic gave up 6. Daniels gave up 5. The rookie gave up 5. Kobe gave up 2. Clint gave up 4. I'm just telling you what happened on each possession. And all these guys got pulled out. So that's why it stopped there. Because most of these guys didn't play anymore. I mean, they might have played a little bit more. I really didn't look past the second. I didn't feel like it, truthfully. I was just concentrating on the first half. But some of them might have gave up more points. I don't know. But I don't think they played that much longer. Because up to that time, and I can check this real quick because I think I still got the page up. Let's see. I forgot to hit send on that. Oh well. Where am I at? So first half. Let's see if anybody played in the third quarter. So looks like Capella played a little bit in the third. Trey played a little bit. Hunter was in there. Let's see. Trying to see when they got subbed out. Jalen was in there up until about the 7-minute mark. So that's when Trey came out. That's when Johnson came out. 6-minute mark, Clint came out. So, I mean, they could have gave up a couple more points in there, the starters, if anything. Hunter was still in there till the 4-minute mark at least. So I didn't look past the first half, but I can't make things happen just because. I can only dictate what actually happened in the game. And if one particular player gives up more points than others, that's not my fault. I wish he didn't, but he did. And so I'm going to talk about it because that's actually what happened. I'm not talking about stuff that didn't happen. I'm not making up stuff that did not occur. You see what I'm saying? I can't help it that the Miami Heat hit 2 3-pointers at the end of the first double overtime in that Heat game against the Atlanta Hawks. That's not my fault. DJ got a great bucket, got us up by 4 points, and then we proceeded to give up 2 back-to-back 3-pointers, and it went to double overtime. And then we gave up more 3-pointers in double overtime, and we lost that game. It was a winnable game. We lost that game by 6 points. We lost 21 games last year, folks, by 7 points or less. And in the 8 games I reviewed, the last 8 games of the season of last year, 2023, 3 of those losses were by 6 points, 3 points, and 1 point. I don't like that because they were all winnable games. Why do y'all enjoy it, though? That's what I would like to know. Why do you not care about these things? Because I showed you why those losses happened, and you don't care about that. I don't get that. I don't get how you don't care that KCP continued to just hit shots and nobody stopped him, or MPJ, or Murray, or the Joker. The first shot of the game against the Denver Nuggets was a three-pointer by Joker, and Clint didn't come to contest. The first shot of the third quarter of that Denver game, Joker hit another three, and Clint didn't contest. Are y'all cool with him not contesting threes? I don't get that. I don't understand it. So that's why I urge y'all, I implore you to look at what actually happened rather than listening to people who are just saying stuff without no proof of anything. Again, opinion is not fact. Show me a game where Trae Young played 1-on-5, and then you have an argument with me. Now we can have a real discussion on how it's all Trae's fault. But people, because they don't want to admit that other players are at fault other than just Trae Young, yeah, I'm not having that discussion with people because that's just false. It's just, you can't keep saying that and think it's true. There's other players on the floor. I just showed you that. I just showed you clearly. It ain't Trae Young's fault. It's some of his fault. It's a little bit of his fault. But this tells you right here, it's more than Trae Young. It's an epidemic. It's coaching and the players on the floor. It's the coaches not adjusting and the players on the floor not having situational awareness. When I get picked up in basketball, I always look and see who else got picked up. If I usually am never the captain either. I do that on purpose because I just don't like being captain for some reason. Picking out my team. But I always look and see who's on the team. And sometimes I ask me, hey, Chris, who should we pick up as our fourth? Because we don't got a lot out here, blah, blah, blah. And I always look at it from the standpoint of, well, whoever we get, we can make them valuable to our team. We just do right, which means we're not going to leave them out on the island. We're not going to purposely put them on the best player on the other team. Why would we do that when we know that they can't do certain things or they're really small? We're going to help. When we tell that player, hey, I know you're like 5 foot nothing, but we're not going to let you be on such and such because he's like 7 feet tall. Don't worry, I got you. First of all, let me retract that. We tell people that if you get switched on somebody, you're not going to be by yourself. We're either going to be able to switch back to negate that advantage, or we're going to double team. Because I know how to double. I'm the double guy. Look at the wingspan. Look at that. Look. I gotta go all the way back. Look at that wingspan. You gotta try to shoot over me. I just need people to look at basketball in a basketball sense. And that's why I do these game reviews. So as the 2024 season progresses, definitely check out Around the ATL. If you like this, definitely share it with someone else who like Atlanta Hawks basketball. I really would appreciate that. I'll be doing these the whole rest of the season for sure. I'm gonna try to do a couple more 2023 games though. There's some special games I do want to kind of review. But go back and watch this whole review of this particular episode. Share it with some people who are Hawks fans. I appreciate that. Make sure you follow again on IMTN Worldwide Radio on Facebook or Instagram. Pick your poison on that. You can follow me on Intellect ATL on Twitter, right, coming up. And also my co-host, Jordan Jackson. Jordan23ATL is his Twitter. I appreciate that. Actually, you know what I forgot to do? But I'm gonna do this twice. What time is it? I forgot to show y'all something. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna just play it.
Murray again, too strong off the glass. Capella, and they gang rebound, and Halliburton tiptoes along the end line.
Nobody's benefited more from playing with Tyrese than Miles Turner. He's been able to put him in position to make plays, catch the ball, giving him confidence.
Yeah, good to see Bruce Brown out there again. Andrew Nembhard missing his second consecutive game out due to injury. He was in the starting lineup as the Pacers started this win streak. That's a miss by Capella, rebounded by Turner.
This is where the psychology comes in. You want to make sure that Toppin gets rewarded for the fact that he played well.
Bay misses, rebound, there's Capella, and he missed it again, and that's Pacers ball.
Enough to freeze the defense.
He had missed 5 straight games with a right knee bone bruise. Had 15 points the other night against Milwaukee. That's a block shot. These are two teams that average better than 14 made threes per game. Turner again in the center of the floor. Goes inside against Bay. And a foul. Again, the Pacers had great balance. They had 4 starters in double figures. Jalen Smith was one of those with 11. Halliburton was the only starter not in double figures as Turner starts with a jump shot. Trent Forrest is in for Atlanta. Also Bogdan Bogdanovic. As Turner's jump shot good, Pacers lead by 5.
And I can tell you how good that pass is. Capella, that's how he makes his living. But you got to be ready to shoot that.
Halliburton gets in, finds Turner, and Turner lays it in.
Now, how do you absolve any of that and just say you're cool with how that went down? That was the other game that the Pacers played against the Hawks where they also scored 150 points. It was earlier in the season. How are you just okay with Clint not hitting any of those shots and then giving up all those shots on the other end? See, again, if you're not a stalwart defender and you're a stopper, you got to at least even out the production of the other player on the other end. You can't do that if you can't finish inside. You can't hit a jumper. You can't hit free throws. Now, Tuesday night, Clint Capella did hit 5 free throws. Unbelievable. Can you do that for an entire season? There's no reason that Clint can't be a 70% free throw shooter. There's no reason. There's no reason that Clint can't be a 25% three-point shooter. Be a little bit of a threat. And that's why I keep saying that Clint can't start no more. Those offensive rebounds don't do you no good if you can't put them right back in. It doesn't do you no good. It doesn't do you no good if you're not a threat in the fourth. You have no value in the fourth quarter because you can't score. You get the rebound, you ain't going up with it and scoring. You don't know what to do with it. You ain't hitting no turnaround jumper. You're not hitting a 15-footer. You can't be relied on. You see what I'm saying? But you saw what Miles Turner does out there. He hit all those shots and the 3. Again, that 157-point game, he scored 31 points. Wasn't by accident. He can do that all the time. And that's why I say Clint Capella will make us a deeper team off the bench. He's not giving up as many points anymore, and he's just concentrating on rebounds. Hunter and Bogey will make us a better team coming off the bench. Don't got to worry about their defense as much, and they can still concentrate on scoring. That makes us a much deeper team throughout a whole season than having them start and us giving up all the points in the world. You see what I'm saying? If you got to play Bogey in the fourth a little bit because we're down and we need some threes, okay, fine. Well, if we got the lead, there ain't no reason in the world Bogey is out there in the fourth quarter. No reason at all. You want to know why? Go watch the Miami Heat double overtime loss. Look at the Dallas Maverick game where he gave up 7 threes by himself. That's 21 points by one player, guys, just on threes. It's the whole team. It ain't just one person. And there's players who give up more points than others. Again, go look at the Chicago play-in game. That's one of the best examples of that. Clint gave up almost 29 points in that game by himself in an elimination game. Yes, he did even it out on the offensive side per production, but that's still too many points. It's still too many points. DJ gave up too many points in that game. Hunter gave up too many points in that game. It wasn't Trae Young giving up points in that game like everybody else. Again, because Trae Young wasn't playing Kobe White. DJ was. He was assigned to him, or Hunter was. He was on him. Or Bogey was, for some reason, was on him, knowing he can't stop him. Trae wasn't playing DeRozan, and Trae Young definitely was not playing Vucevic, the center of the Chicago Bulls. I showed y'all in this review just the first half of a preseason game and 8 other games that we have a problem with defensive coaching. Why? Because we don't block out. We don't fight through screens. We don't rotate. We don't call out any defenses. We don't get back on defense. We don't contest shots. That's all coaching right there. We were 28th in fast break points given up, 26th in block shots, 25th in points in the paint. We gave up 14 threes a game or more every game last year. It's not sustainable and think you're going to win games. Injuries or not, you can't win like that. We had plenty of winnable games with our injuries last year. Again, we lost 21 games by 7 points or less. If we win half of those games, the Hawks were in the playoffs last year. Just think about that. If we won half of the games we lost by 7 points or less, the Hawks were in the playoffs last year. That's at least 10 wins, 10 or 11 wins. We won 36. It's 47 wins right there, guys. We flip our win-loss total. We either got scoreboard or defend a little bit better. I prefer we defend a little bit better because scoring has never been an issue with the Atlanta Hawks. Never. So as I was saying, make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio page, the Facebook page and Instagram page as well, right there. You can follow on Twitter, Intellect ATL Jordan 23. Definitely make sure you hit up our guy, Southern Classic Transportation. Make sure you hit up Dennis at 404-291-0150. Just recently, they went to, they've gone to Florida for a group. Like I said, they're going to Athens for a UGA game. They can go to Tennessee. If you need a driver, you need a service, that's the service to go to. And as I mentioned also, make sure you hit up imtnworldwideimages.com. If you need a photographer for whatever, let me know. They're you know, well, it's me. They're great. I can attest to that. Again, here's some examples. Miss Isabel right there for Twin Peaks restaurant. And Miss another Isabel, different spelling. Just some examples. So make sure you hit me up. But in the meantime, I'm getting out of here for the day. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you do, please share it with someone who enjoys talking Atlanta sports with some sense, and some detail, and some research, some integrity. Again, I'm an Atlanta fan, but I'm not so biased to not want to give you everything. I'm not just giving you one-sided information. I'm giving you the whole, kibbles and bits. I'm giving you everything, okay? When I say something and make a statement, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to give you some documentation. I'm going to do the research. I'm going to go back to 1986 and talk about the Hawks roster back then. I have a whole show on rosters, okay? I'm going to break it down to you because I'm not going to just say something and just be like, take that as fact. No, I'm going to show you. Here's what actually happened in detail, visuals, audio, print. I'm going to show it to you, okay? So if you like that, definitely tune in on a regular basis. So I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you watch hopefully sooner or later. Make sure you subscribe so that way you know the next show. Hit the notification button. And make sure you share it with at least one Atlanta Hawks fan. Hopefully y'all appreciate that. And make sure you watch this from the beginning. And if you want, again, comment on the comment section. Sometimes I get to them. Sometimes I don't. I always wish people would, be able to watch while I'm online and stuff. But again, I'm haphazard. Everybody's work schedule. I understand, no big deal. I hate it, but I deal with it because I come on when I come on right now. I'm just putting it out there right now. So anyway, guys, let me get out of here. Let me set this up to get out of here for the day. Y'all have a nice weekend. Falcons hopefully should knock out the Carolina Panthers this weekend. I do plan on doing a show before that game, so look out for that because I hadn't done a Falcon show in a while. So look out for that as well. Until next time, y'all take care. Peace.